All right, this is gonna be phase 5's Friday workout. We're gonna be doing 5 rounds for 20 seconds on and 20 seconds off, okay, just like on Tuesday. What we're gonna be focusing on for exercise number 1 in the rack is actually gonna be barbell shoulder press. So for 5 rounds, we're gonna be trying to go as heavy as possible. We only have 20 seconds of lifting, right? So for this one, you walk in to that barbell, and then you're gonna lift it up off the rack. You're gonna take one little step back, and we're gonna be pressing up overhead, and we wanna make sure we're locking out at the top with that rib cage down. I wanna see those ear holes getting covered, so we're reaching full extension at the top. We're gonna be coming back down. Are we gonna be re-racking on this?
Yep, we're re-racking.
Okay, we're re-racking after every one. That way we know that we're going heavy enough, they have to let go of it for at least 2 seconds, right? Because when we grab it again, step back, and I'm pressing again into it. So it's almost like a 1 rep max every time when I'm doing those reps. I'm only looking for like 4 reps here, guys. So let's make sure that they're challenging this pattern. We did this a month or 2 ago, and the people, when they challenge themselves, they actually got really sore shoulders with only those 4 reps. Okay? You may have some people though that come into class that have shoulder mobility issues and they can't do the pressing. So for that, teach them the band pull apart. And remember, band pull apart can start with 2 bands or it can go to 1. You just want to make sure that when they're doing this pull apart, if they're doing 2 bands, they're not struggling to get it apart. So you might find that it's too tough. So think about starting at arms, shoulders apart, shoulders down, pulling those shoulder blades back and together, and then controlling back into the middle for those 20 seconds. We're still working shoulders, they're just going to be working more of the posterior shoulder then.
Good.
All right, we're going to show you real quick how to adjust the height of the barbell for the shoulder press. So some people might be too tall, some people might be too short. Best way to do that, just lift the barbell up, pull this J hook out, and then you put it back in, slide it, and then it will just cover that number. Okay, so if you're choosing 18, you want to make sure on the same side over here, take the barbell off, take the J hook up, slide it out to the side first, pull it out, slide it to the same number, and then back down. Okay? Easy peasy as long as you figure out how to do it. Station number 2, we're going to be focusing on waiter walks. So waiter walks, that overhead position, so we're going to be challenging that upper body today. The goal here is, remember, 20 seconds. Challenge them to go heavy. Maybe in week 1 you might have a harder time getting that, but over the course of the week you say, hey, did you find that was a little bit easy? That yes, it actually was a little bit easy. So with that waiter walk, arm up overhead, try to lock that rib cage down, and then a nice steady walk. We're actually going to walk towards the turf and then back towards the mirror. And we're going to be switching arms every round. So we're going to be trying to think about starting with that non-dominant arm first and then switching. Alright? So we think one arm, 20 seconds. Other side would be 20 seconds as well. Alright? So we're really loading up that core there. Tell them to lock out. Once you lock out, it actually is a lot easier. But they bend that elbow. Over time, that weight just starts falling down, because that deltoid starts to burn out from holding it. Might some people can't go in the overhead position, and that's fine. We can just go in the rack. So we're going to take that up. We're going in the rack position. So challenge that core. It's going to be easier so they can possibly go heavier in that walk, and they can start that walk starting to go back and forth. I still feel that in the core here, even though I've lowered it down over to my shoulder. It's just gotten a little bit easier now as I'm not in the overhead position. Okay? So that is going to be station number 2. We're challenging that rotor stability, so really focus on a nice heavy weight. Station 3 is going to be over here on the turf. They're more than welcome. Put their hands on the rubber if they are uncomfortable with their hands on the turf on this one. But we're just going to be putting our hands underneath our shoulders, getting into that pushed up position. We're going to be doing what's called a groiner. So the groiner, a full groiner, is actually where I will take my body and I'll do the bottom part of the burpee where I'll jump in as close to my hands as possible. Like I'm getting that frog stance. Instead of actually standing up, I hop back to a good plank position. So hopping all the way in, feet by my hands, back to plank, and then line on my toes as I go. They can always make that easier by turning that into a shallow hop as they perform their groiner. You may have some people who even need an incline. It'd be good to have a couple of the benches set up over here so you can show the incline groiner as well when you're done here. Because groiner demonstrations move fast, you can make sure to show the incline for those heavy people who can't put that much pressure on their knees. Okay? Groiner station for 20 seconds. Get them moving. Okay? That's their chance for cardio. Station number 4 It's going to be right in the middle between stations 3 and 5. We're going to be working on the core station. So this one here, we're going to think about flutter kicks. Okay, there's a couple ways we can make the flutter kicks a little bit harder or even a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to show you what's called a hollow hold flutter kick. So you think about starting with those toes pointed, arms up overhead. Now I lock that back down, rib cage is in place. I snap up, and then with those toes pointed, I'm flutter kicking, keeping that core nice and tight for my 20 seconds. Right? That's going to be the most advanced form of that flutter kick. Try not to get them too high up or the chin tucked during that hollow holds flutter kick version. They are more welcome to make that a little easier. Place their hands by their side, head up, and then flutter kick for that exercise. You may have some people who find that their legs are too heavy for the flutter kicks, and I would recommend going into more of a dead bug here at this station, where we're just going to think about opposite, across, switch, opposites, and then back in the middle, okay? We're not going to go both legs, because both legs would just be another form of doing the flutter kicks out anyways, okay? So think about if you have a heavier version, maybe they can't do the flutter kicks, or if they're complaining about it being their lower back, their core is not quite strong enough to hold the weight of their leg.
Another thing on that one, guys, you can always put your hands underneath your back too if they're having trouble with lower back.
And then the last but not least is going to be chin ups. But we're only going to be doing TRX versions, so we're not going to be using the actual pull-up bars. Right? So for TRX, you're going to have probably maybe a little bit different heights. Some people are taller, have longer arms. Inside of 20 seconds, we're not looking for very many reps. Right? So challenge that chin up pattern. Feet off of the wall. Okay? So try to get them to go feet flat on the floor. Where am I looking? I'm not looking up. Okay? I'm looking straight forward at the whiteboard. And I'm going to keep my eyes there the whole time. Since we're doing chin-ups, I'm going to rotate my palms towards me. So keep them tall. And then think first thing they want to do is pull. If they pull first, they won't thrust their hips forward yet. So they pull first. Then if I need help, I can use my feet to get up from there. But if I use my feet first, my hips are coming up, and I'm leaning backwards. So think pull first, then hips, or then the feet come second. All right. So think about a nice good control up, and then for those TRXs, if you guys get a chance, try to slow it down on the way back down, since they actually have over here a chance to really get control as opposed to one over there with the bands. Okay, and they have their whole body hanging off a bar. All right. So that's the way they can do the TRX. Now, there are ways to make it a little bit harder. You can always cross their legs and do a full pull-up instead, but that'll be for your advanced individuals who are ready to do pull-ups without any assistance. Okay?
Let's probably not teach that one.
Yeah. Most people then are actually going to, for new people, aren't actually going to try the TRX, and that's okay. But you want to have red and black bands over here for band pull-downs. So think, bands start at the shoulders, arms stay locked out. You will pull to your thighs and then under control back to the shoulders. You have to start at the shoulders because you want to start from tension. All right. So you want to make sure this is heavy enough and slow enough that they're working the lats just like they are in a TRX chin up. Friday's finisher is actually going to be a lot of legs. So we did a lot of upper body during the workout. Now for the finisher, we're going to blast those legs. So what we're going to be doing is a rep-based finisher. So it's actually going to increase every week. Week 1, we're going to do 12 reps. Week 2, we're going to move to 18 reps. Week 3, we're going to move 24. And week 4, we're going to do 30 of each. Okay? So the way this is going to work is that we're going to do the controlled version, then followed by the power, controlled, followed by the power. So think about this. First exercise is 12 body weight squats. Right? There's going to be people who maybe can't do body weight squats. Always place the people with bad knees next to TRXs. Right? So you have 2 station TRXs. You want to make sure they're placed here ready to go for the finisher. Okay, so I got 12 body weight squats. If I need help, 12 TRX squats for that assistance. Okay, so make sure they're right here. They can use that 12 squats. Then we're going to go right into 12 jump squats. Okay, so if I did body weight squats, try and do 12 jump squats. If I can't jump, or if I was using the TRX, we're going to replace power with power. So I'm going to go into 12 slams. As strong as fast as I can be for 12, right? So if I did TRX or if I can't do a jump, right, we're not just going to do 12 bodyweight squats again. We have to jump or we have to slam. Then we're going to go into 12 lunges, controlled reverse lunges. Stepping back, 1, 2, 3. If I need a little bit of help, I can use a stick for a little bit of support for my balance. If I need more help than that, I'm more than welcome to use TRX again, like I did for my TRX squats. You would hold on to it. You want to make sure, stay nice and tall. If you need a little bit of help, then at the top, you pull yourself up and out if you need a little bit of help from that lunge pad. 12 of those. Then I go into 12 jump lunges. So they need to be able to jump. You're going to think jump and switch. Jump, switch, total of 12, just like in the reverse lunges. Alright? If they're not jumping, just like they didn't jump for jump squats, then they're going to go back to 12 slims. I'm trying to get through that as fast as possible. Alright? Jump lunges are not this. Try to get them to actually jump and switch. If the legs burn out and they show you that, that's a different story. But rep 1 shouldn't look like they're just barely switching their legs.